Hello and welcome to Off the Record with me, Divya Singaravelu. Today, our guest is a very dynamic personality. He has received several master's degrees in various Ivy League colleges, including a PhD from Carnegie Mellon University. His teaching and mentoring career spans over 5 decades. He's been an advisor to various stellar companies both in India and abroad, such as Godrej, CRISIL and the US Air Force. He has co-founded several B schools in India, including Great Lakes, where his students fondly call him his uncle. I'm very glad to welcome to the show my guru and mentor, Professor Bala V. Balachandran. So, Professor, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Divya. Really, it's a great pleasure to see you in multiple roles, and this is a fantastic role you are doing.
So
thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. And for the uninitiated, why is that your students call you Uncle Bala?
See, I don't believe in any financial relationship in a professor and a student or a dean and a student. I really feel the relationship is most important, and that should be a long-term, lifelong. And if that is the case, having as a dean or a professor or a doctor, it creates a sort of a distance, and I want to be closer. In a way, if I call myself as uncle, I am taking care of you not only in education but in your life. And at the same time, if you do not behave properly, I can kick your ass. So that's why I thought, let me do something called Uncle Bala and set a difference in the relationship and make it actually a transformational leadership. That's exactly the reason why I did.
You make several visits between India and US, some 3-4 visits to India every year.
Every year.
And can you tell us about your passion for teaching in India?
As a matter of fact, I think the Indian students have really a tremendous passion for knowledge, not only about culture and values of India, but the whole globe. I call it as a globality. As a matter of fact, recently it is very clear that the Indian students know majority of the things that the Americans know, Europeans know, and also the fast-moving developing countries of China and other things. So teaching them is really a delight because you also learn from them instead of that. Whereas in US, they are more or less restricted to the US and they think the world is US.
Yeah.
Now here the world is outside, and there is a passion in the minds of our students to learn more and achieve more.
So apart from teaching, what are the other activities that you take up while you're in India?
I really, you just mentioned about the board membership. I am also activities of board to make sure that the corporate world can be governed better in bringing the knowledge that we are getting from the US in terms of Sarbanes-Oxley Act, especially in terms of all these fraud and scams and whatnot, like Enron on one side, Satyam on another side. The second thing I am also doing is essentially creating leadership program to the top management. For example, to the Cognizant I did recently last year on post-merger integration I did for the Aditya Birla Group, where not only Kumar Birla, the entire senior management were there, and I am now going to do with several other companies like Murugappa Group and whatnot. So essentially, educating the students is one thing, but educating the educated people with the cutting knowledge is also the third thing. So that is what. But I am also very much interested in charitable things, especially if somebody is committing a suicide as a farmer, are we doing, due to this economic prosperity, a service to them or a pain to them? So how do we move the entire population, not necessarily, so C.K. Prahlad called it as the bottom of the pyramid. I don't like the word bottom of the pyramid because that is the base of the pyramid. Correct. Base means not condescending. Correct. Or elitist. So if the base of India is not affluent and not comfortable and prosperous, any superstructure is going to crumble.
Correct. The foundation is in the base.
Strong.
Yeah.
So that's why I am spending some time in this so-called inclusive growth with the Planning Commission and advising the Government of India, including Ministry of Corporate Affairs, in setting up something called Institute of Corporate Affairs, where even villages can also get educated even though they don't have a high school degree.
Okay.
So these are all the kind of other things I'm doing in India.
Okay. Professor Bala, you've been named as one of the top 10 most influential management gurus in the US. How does it feel, first of all, to being an Indian get an honor like that? And secondly, how can one come up to that level? What is your opinion?
Well, I am blessed by God. I do not know. Of course, I worked my full effort. And secondly, I was very much keen of whatever you do the best and do it right. Do it right in the first time. So when I became an associate professor at Northwestern, after a PhD I did in, which you have mentioned also from Carnegie Mellon, which also got the first prize in the world. It's not just in the university. Operations Research Society of America conducts the best thesis competition from all over the world. And this is the first time Carnegie Mellon got it, and that is through me. And that is the last time also. Still they don't have anybody else. MIT, Stanford, everybody gets. So that gave me an impetus that even though I come from a poor village in near Pudukkottai, a village called Puduppatti, I can demonstrate to the world that that we can do it. Some people say that you are after all one in the world, what can you do? But probably for the world you may be the one. So I took it that way. So therefore I wanted to do whatever I do with very significant passion. And I want to do it best. So I got the Outstanding Professor of the Year award. Then I made a lot of publications which are all copyrighted, as well as created some new things called activity-based management, strategic profitability management, now something beyond balanced scorecard called sales. So these things brought the entire corporate world to come. And being in Kellogg, for example, I have some amazing students. For example, the chairman of Motorola is a student of mine. Chairman of Baxter is a student of mine. So if these kind of things are there, that helps. So please note that God put me in the right location. If I am in an average school, I might not. And of course, I have to do my stuff also. The two together, and with some blessings of God, it helped me. And as a matter of fact, there are sometimes people say, C.K. Prahlad is a fantastic person, but he strategizes, but doesn't execute that. So I not only do the strategy, and I want to make sure the strategy can be implemented, executed effectively, and the results can be monitored. So what I call it as walk the talk. So since I walk the talk, it has been known that I am a doer in addition to a preacher.
Okay.
So that's where I am doing it.
Okay, so you do a lot of things, like you teach, you mentor not just students, but then people in the industry as well. You're an advisor to the board, and that is from your work front. And also you try to balance your family also, being a good husband, good father, good grandfather, good son. How do you manage everything? Where do you get your energy from?
I think you are right in many things, but my wife says I'm not a good husband. But anyway, but I would like to
I think wives world over tend to say that about their husbands.
Right. No, this is just because the reason why she says is, I am most of the time spending time in India and whatnot, so she's alone there. So that nothing else. But anyway, the coming back, I think you are right. One has to balance between the professional life and the personal life. She has done a remarkable job in raising my children. The first son is now the professor at Columbia Business School, and I am spending a time, and more importantly, the grandchildren. Similarly, the second son is a phenomenal doctor. He is actually the personal physician for even the ruler of Abu Dhabi, that kind of stuff. So I am so pleased that I am blessed with two good children, and they have 2 children each. So I am spending about a great time with the grandchildren also.
Correct.
So I think that everything is going very well. I really enjoy it.
If you look at it right now, Professor, a lot of people have this fad. They want to retire early at 40 itself. And you at 73 are still going strong with energy and enthusiasm as that of a teenager. So what is the secret behind that energy?
Everybody asks, are you retired? I said, I am not even tired. How can I be retired? So, right? So therefore, I really feel that you have to contribute, and I think with all the experience, you can be a coach. For example, in a symphony, the conductor doesn't play. All the others play the music, but the conductor controls that. Similarly, a coach creates the match, all right, but there is a captain. So at this age, I think I want to be a sort of a coach or a conductor or something like that, not physically active, but fortunately, I get energy from Lord Ganesh. I see him, I get energized.
Okay. So we are in conversation with Professor Bala Balachandran. Stay tuned to Off the Record as we discuss his management principles with him.